Coming up next, Rich Franklin and Gary Myers. And there you see the matchup in Wade. It should be a pretty good one, too.
Well, I tell you, Rich Franklin, a relatively unknown fighter coming out of the Extreme Challenge Series, taking on hometown favorite in Gary Myers. Looking forward to seeing this tank roll.
Gary Myers, Muncie, Indiana. Rich Franklin should be making his way out first. And there he is. Rich Franklin, Cincinnati, Ohio. Battle of the men from the heartland, the Midwest. Cincinnati, Ohio, and Muncie, Indiana getting set to go. And tell us a little bit about Rich Franklin.
Well, I tell you, Rich Franklin is highly ranked in the Extreme Challenge Series. He trains with Kerry Meat Truck Shaw, as you saw the Meat Truck Incorporated shirt as he came to the ring. He's got great stand-up. He's got quite a bit of an edge here in conditioning, I believe, and he's a very, very big guy for this matchup of the fight.
Now there you see Franklin and his opponent, Gary Myers, and again here in Evansville, Indiana, young man from Indiana, and here he comes, wasting no time getting into the ring.
This is a trademark of Gary Myers, saying, "Let's get it on, baby." He is a brawler. He is aggressive. He is experienced, and he has something to prove here. I tell you, Gary Myers is at the very least entertaining. This, he says, is going to be his last fight, and he wanted to do it here in Indiana.
So Gary Myers talking about how it's his coming out party. He's ready. He was ready to go an hour ago, I think. Let's go to the ring. TJ has the introductions. Let's go to TJ and get the introductions of tonight's fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fighter to my right in the multicolored trunks, 6'1" tall, weighing at 212 pounds. A freestyle fighter with an undefeated record of 6 wins, 0 losses, and only 1 draw. From Cincinnati, Ohio, Rich Franklin. And ladies and gentlemen, the fighter to my left in the black trunks trimmed in white, 5'8" tall, 213 pounds. He's a world-level wrestler with a professional fighting record of 58 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. From Muncie, Indiana, please welcome the Iron Bear, Gary Myers. Scheduled 3 4-minute rounds.
TJ couldn't get out of there quick enough. Myers ready to go, and Kip Kohler says, bring them together, let's get this thing going. Gary Myers and Rich Franklin. Myers in the black trunks, Franklin in the light colored ones, and here these two go. Is Myers again from Indiana, and here in the Hoosier State, one of their own.
Rich Franklin says this is where he wants to keep this fight, is standing up with Myers. Myers, a very accomplished wrestler, I think is going to look for the takedown and ground and pound here. It's going to be interesting to see. There's a big reach advantage that Rich Franklin holds here, certainly a height advantage, and Rich Franklin can use his jab effectively, perhaps his kicks effectively to keep Myers at bay. He may be able to keep him from getting the takedown.
There you see they get in tight, and Myers sticking takedown right now, but a good job by Franklin to keep Myers at bay. As Franklin from Cincinnati and Myers from Muncie, Indiana. Well, body blows there.
Myers tends to stay busy when he fights. He's always looking to score. He's got a ton of experience behind him, and he knows what wins fights. Obviously, by his record, he knows what wins fights. Rich Franklin, he's undefeated with a tie, according to the record we were given. And see if he can stack up against the Iron Bear.
The Iron Bear still standing up with Rich Franklin. as you mentioned, you got to think that Gary Myers wants to get Franklin to the mat, but unable to do so far.
Nice technique there by Myers, striking to the thigh, striking to the body. Not quite the same effect as a kick there, but again, it's just a take this with you for the fight type thing. Franklin does a nice job reversing Myers up against the fence.
3 4-minute rounds, and start thinking about stamina, trying to wear down your opponent. We've been seeing it throughout the night. Myers trying to throw some body blows. You see the side of Rich Franklin, they're already a little red.
Not sure if that's from being grinded against the cage or from the strikes. Probably most likely from being grinded against the rhino wire there.
Rich Franklin, who's trains with Kerry Shaw, we saw earlier, the meat truck. And that great fight with Bobby Hoffman.
Really impressive showing tonight by Kerry Shaw. Losing a decision in overtime to Bobby Hoffman.
Meat Truck Inc. They call it there. The Kerry Shaw, the meat truck, Rich Franklin, his partner, trains, and again, the Iron Bear from Muncie, Indiana, Gary Myers, 35 years old, 5'8", 213. Right hand by Franklin. How much of an advantage is it to have such a good reach advantage here as Franklin does? I guess you have to make it work for you, but still.
Really, I think if what you're looking to do is keep the fight up top, keep some space between you, work your jab, work your kicks, keep Myers off you, it becomes to an advantage. Here it can almost be a disadvantage.
And they tie up along the cage. 50 seconds left to go in the first round.
Franklin's doing a nice job of keeping the pressure on Myers and keeping Myers contained on that fence.
Referee Kip Kohler again taking a look to see how the action progresses. Couple left knees there from Franklin.
Interesting side note about Gary Myers is Gary Myers lost a brawl to Marcus Conan Silveira quite a few years ago. And we'll see Conan later on tonight taking on Dan the Beast Severn.
Our featured event, which is coming up. Another couple more great fights for you, and that'll do it for the first round. Good look there at Rich Franklin, well put together, 6'1", 210. Go over and talk to the meat truck as Gary Myers regroups and take a look at some of the action from that first round. Or we won't. So Gary
we have
Myers,
it in our heads.
We have it in our heads, and we'll wait for the second round. The action coming up there.
Let's take a moment to pause and reflect on that first round, Ian.
We'll reflect right there instead. Is a good look at a nice young lady. He's kind enough to help out. Like we said, the entertainment not just in the ring, outside as well. Gary Myers regrouping here in his home state. As you mentioned, his last fight. So that's what he's saying.
He says to us, this is his last fight. This is his coming out and going away party, and he wanted to do it here at home in Indiana.
Gary Myers, Rich Franklin. Myers again in the black trunks. Franklin in the light colored trunks, and underway, round two. Scheduled to go 3 rounds, 4 minutes per round. Decided reach advantage for Franklin. Myers looking to get the takedown.
He sure is. Franklin has been fairly effective inside, tying up with Myers and keeping him from getting the takedown. Nice knee by Franklin to the midsection of Myers.
We'll see Myers again looking for the takedown, but Franklin just so good at trying to keep him away and using that reach and that size advantage. As again, they're up against the cage.
A few people in the audience yelling, "Come on, Iron Bear." He may be a hometown favorite, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I would think so. From Muncie, Indiana, here in Evansville.
I guess that'd be a home state favorite, wouldn't it?
It's a home state favorite. It's the Hoosier State. It's basically Indiana against Ohio right now, and a little Big Ten country flavor for you.
There's no rivalries in the Big Ten.
There are no rivalries. Yeah, exactly.
I talked to Rich Franklin before the fight, and I tell you, he was very, very confident coming into this that he could take it to Gary Myers. He said, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm longer. Tell him I said so.
Right now he's proving so. Gary Myers may realize that. 10 years older than Rich Franklin is Gary Myers. Pinned up against the cage still, and Franklin trying to get those knees working for him, and throws a right hand and another. What does Myers have to do here to try to regain control, Wade?
I tell you, I think Myers has to create some space or drop to the shot here. He needs to scoop inside the right arm of Rich Franklin, drop to the shot, see if he can work around back. His hesitation in doing such is that Franklin's holding on to the cage, and he wants to make sure when he gets the shot he's able to secure the takedown. There's nothing worse than being under another fighter while he has the opportunity to hit you.
Just past the midway point of this fight. Myers still pinned up against and unable to get the head underneath that arm. Crowd wanting a little more action from the two fighters with 2.5 gone here in the second. How effective are those knees that Franklin's been throwing throughout the fight? Are they wearing
I tell you,
down Myers?
oh, that was a nice high knee to the head. Rich Franklin took his left knee outside of both arms and connected with Gary Myers' head. So he's going to have a rough time knocking Gary Myers out, that's for sure. But these things, they take their time and they take the toll. And again, as we talked about so many times tonight, you take them with you through the whole fight. They just begin to wear on you.
They're still pinned up against the cage. And we have inside of a minute to go in the second round in a scheduled 3-rounder. Two fighters locked up, and it seems as if Myers very much on the defensive.
Myers has been on the defensive pretty much from the get-go. He certainly came in like a charging bull, and I think we found a matador here for a little while anyhow.
Again, the knees from Franklin. That last one looked like it might have stung a little bit.
Myers is definitely taking some priority in stopping them now. As I said, they just begin to take their toll.
And nearing the end of round number 2. And there it is. 2 rounds are down, 1 left to go. Gary Myers would seem to have to crank it up a notch in the final round, Wade, as Rich Franklin is pretty much dictated the way this fight has gone so far.
Take a nice look at this series of knees by Rich Franklin. There's that high knee that I was talking about coming up to the head of Myers. And I tell you, that was a nice clean shot. While it's not a knockout, it again just begins to collect the toll on the body.
And Gary Myers regrouping, getting ready for perhaps the final round of his professional fighting career. 58-4-1. 35 years old, and Rich Franklin just 25. Great leg kicks, great knees, and put those knees on display, wearing down the Iron Bear, Gary Myers.
Well, I tell you, Rich Franklin certainly looks to be the fresher of the two. He's ready to go. Myers looks to be breathing hard.
Myers stretching out. Not sure what the problem would be there, although he has taken quite a few knees. We saw a couple of those go up high in the rib cage, and
he's ready.
He's going to crank it up and give her a shot.
I tell you, I have this both rounds to Franklin so far. I think Myers has to take Franklin out this round to win this fight.
So here we go, round 3 of 3. Rich Franklin, light-colored trunks in the black of Gary Myers from Muncie, Indiana, and we'll see if the crowd gets behind him as they did for Dave Monet in our last fight.
I really, really like Rich Franklin's positioning on his feet. And I think that's the trouble that Myers is having, is solving this.
And Myers, an attempt at a takedown, but Franklin just spun away.
Franklin doing a nice job keeping his hands up, using the jab, some leg kicks, followed up by knees. You saw him avoid the takedown attempt by Myers. Tell you what Myers really has to do here is perhaps get a little bit of a flurry to close the distance and take a shot.
Oh! Huge kick by Rich Franklin, and that's it. Kip Kohler says enough, and Franklin, with a kick to the back of the head of Gary Myers, ends it suddenly and quickly.
As I told you, I really like the way Franklin holds himself in position. He really, really looks disciplined. He looked confident. And I tell you, I think the size and reach advantage really played well there.
Wow, what a kick. The reach advantage coming into play, and it's as if Rich Franklin just was setting him up for that kick. Here's a look at it again.
You notice the left arm of Myers is down. I think that's a little bit of what we talked about earlier in trying to defend the leg kick. You start thinking about the leg, you drop that hand, and wham! Goes right over the arm.
Well, Rich Franklin from Cincinnati, Ohio, with the big leg kick, knocks down hometown favorite, at least home state favorite, Gary Myers. And let's go to the ring. TJ Thompson getting ready to bring the two fighters to the middle. We'll get our official decision as soon as Gary Myers makes his way over there. And here it is. TJ with the decision.
In the third round, winner by What's his name? Rich Franklin!
His name's Rich Franklin.
You may want to remember that one. Rich Franklin is the winner, knockout, 59 seconds into round number 3. And Gary Myers, not the way he wanted to go out, but sometimes you're just a little bit overmatched. And Rich Franklin put on a great show in winning that fight.
While TJ might not, I think that Gary Myers is going to remember his name. As Rich Franklin tosses some Meat Truck Incorporated shirts out into the audience.
There you see.